Perfect Wisdom, with the divisions of the Abhishamayalankara. Translated by EdwardConze 1904–1979. University of California Press, Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. Chapter 76. The armor put on for the sake of maturing beings. The cognition which takes nothing as a basis. Subhuti. If, O Lord, a bodhisattva, coursing in the 6 perfections, 2. In the 18 special buddhadharmas, as well as in the 14 kinds of emptiness, having fulfilled the enlightenment path, is incapable of fully knowing the supreme enlightenment, how, then, does a bodhisattva fully know the supreme enlightenment? The Lord, when a bodhisattva, coursing in perfect wisdom, courses through his skill in means in the perfection of giving, without apprehending a gift, donor, or recipient, and without coursing in any dharmas other than these, then he finds the path to enlightenment. It is thus that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, will through his skill in means know the supreme enlightenment. And likewise the bodhisattva will find the path to enlightenment if, coursing in perfect wisdom, he courses in the perfection of morality, but does not apprehend morality, or someone who observes morality, and also does not course in dharmas other than these. And likewise if he courses in the perfection of patience, but does not apprehend patience, or someone who is patient, and also does not course in dharmas other than these. And so for the remaining 3 perfections, 2. Up to the 18 special Buddhadharmas. Sariputra. How does the bodhisattva, when he courses in perfect wisdom, put forth an effort? The Lord. Here the bodhisattva, when he courses in perfect wisdom, through his skill in means does not conjoin form, nor disjoin it. And why? Because form has no own being which he could conjoin or disjoin. Sariputra. If there exists no own being of any dharma which one could conjoin or disjoin, how does the consummation of perfect wisdom take place, in which the bodhisattva could train? For without having trained in perfect wisdom, a bodhisattva is unable to fully know the supreme enlightenment. The Lord. So it is, Sariputra, so it is, as you say. Without having trained in perfect wisdom, a bodhisattva is unable to fully know the supreme enlightenment. But it can be done through skill in means, though not without it. If the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, would apprehend the own being of any dharma, then he might grasp at it. Since, however, he does not apprehend it, how can he grasp at it, as this is the perfection of wisdom too? Even a bodhisattva he does not apprehend, how can he grasp at him? Ungraspable are the perfection of wisdom too. The Buddha Dharmas. This perfection is an ungraspable perfection, i.e., the perfection of wisdom. In it the bodhisattva should train. And when he does so he will not apprehend even the training, how much less enlightenment, or the perfection of wisdom, or the dharmas of bodhisattvas, Buddhas, Pratyeka Buddhas, disciples, or foolish common people. And why? Because there exists no own being of any dharma whatsoever. When thus all dharmas have no own being, what is a common person, what a streamwinner, too? What a tathagata? When these persons cannot be apprehended, then wherefrom can these dharmas become manifest, by which one could define that this is a common person, too? This is a tathagata. Sariputra. When all dharmas are non-entities, how should one interpret the canonical text which says that this is a common person, too? This is a tathagata. The Lord. Is form an entity or something truly existent in the way in which the foolish common people have settled down in it? Sariputra. No, O Lord, except by way of perverted views. The Lord. So it is, Sariputra, so it is. It is by way of perversion that beings imagine dharmas which are non-entities to be existence. It is because of this that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom and who sees, through this skill in means, all dharmas as non-entities, sets out for the supreme enlightenment. The maturing of beings. Sariputra. What is the skill in means of the bodhisattva by which, seeing all dharmas as non-entities, he sets out for the
supreme enlightenment?
The Lord. Here the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, does not review any dharma as an entity by which he could be frustrated, with the result that he would crouch, lose heart, and become indolent. But because all dharmas are non-entities, without a living soul, devoid of a living soul, with non-existence for their own being, empty of essential nature and empty of own marks, it is only through utter confusion that beings have adhered to what they call the skandhas, elements, or sense fields. Therefore the bodhisattva, who beholds all dharmas as having non-existence for their own being, as empty of essential nature, and as empty of own marks, courses in perfect wisdom, sustains himself on a personality, which is like a magical illusion or like space, and demonstrates dharma to beings. To stingy beings he preaches a sermon on giving, to the immoral a sermon on morality, too. To the stupid he preaches a sermon on wisdom. And when those beings have become established in giving, too,
in the perfection of wisdom, then he finally preaches to them a sermon which is holy, leading to going forth and to penetration, and by which they attain the fruit of a stream winner, too. The knowledge of all modes.
Sariputra. How, then, does the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, become one who leans on a basis when he enjoins beings who are not and do not exist in giving, too, in wisdom, and when he finally preaches a sermon which is holy and leads to going forth, by which they attain the fruit of a stream winner, too? The knowledge of all modes. The Lord. The bodhisattva who courses in the perfection of wisdom has, of course, no basis at all. And why? Because he apprehends no beings whatsoever, except that he speaks of them by way of conventional language and agreed symbols. And thus the bodhisattva demonstrates dharma to beings after he has stood in the two truths, i.e., the conventional and the ultimate truth. For when he has considered both truths, he apprehends no being and has no concept of a being. It is, on the contrary, through his skill in means that the bodhisattva, coursing in perfect wisdom, demonstrates dharma to beings. In consequence, those beings in this very life do not apprehend a self, how much less that which they will attain, or that by which they will attain. It is thus that the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, demonstrates dharma to beings through skill in means. The Sariputra.
A great product, indeed, O Lord, is the bodhisattva, great being.
For he does not apprehend of any dharma,
whatsoever the singleness or manifoldness, or even the separateness. And he is armed with such an armor that he does not actually appear in the world of sense desire, the world of form, or the formless world, neither in the conditioned or the unconditioned world. He liberates beings from the triple world, and yet he apprehends no beings or concept of a being. Where beings are not conceived, they are neither bound nor freed.
And they can undergo neither defilement nor purification, and no differentiation between the places of rebirth can therefore be conceived. In the absence of a differentiation between the places of rebirth, there is also no karma and no defilement. How can there be a karma result by which selves and beings could actually appear in samsara with its 5 places of rebirth?
The Lord.
So it is, Subhuti, so it is, as you have said.
If a being had existed in the past, and later on had not existed, that would be a fault.
And it would likewise be a fault if the bodhisattva or tathagata had been an existent in the past and later on a non-existent, and the same applies to samsara with its 5 places of rebirth. But because, whether tathagatas are produced or not, established in this dharmahood of dharmas, their suchness and non-falseness, wherein there is no self, being, living soul, person, doer, or agent, how can there be the skandhas? And when those dharmas are not, how can there be that samsara with its 5 places of rebirth from which beings should be liberated? But because these dharmas are empty of own being, therefore the bodhisattva, having listened to the Buddhas and lords of the past, firmly sets out for the supreme enlightenment, though there is not therein any dharma which you could apprehend, or on which beings have settled down, except by way or perversion. It is thus that the bodhisattva is armed with the great armor which enables him not to turn back on the supreme enlightenment. Not should I not fully know the supreme enlightenment. In fact, I should fully know it. Thereafter I shall work the wheel of beings and thereby liberate them from the perversions.
It is as if a person who has been conjured up by a magician were to conjure up a vast number of living beings and refresh them with exquisite food and drinks.
And would then cry out in triumph, "Much merit have I begotten, much merit have I begotten." What do you think, Sariputra, would in this case anybody have been fed or refreshed?
Sariputra. No, O Lord.
The Lord. Just so the bodhisattva, from the first thought of enlightenment onwards, coursing in the 6 perfections, 2. The 18 special Buddha dharmas, fulfills the path to enlightenment, purified the Buddha field and matures beings, and yet he does not apprehend any being which he would discipline after having apprehended it. The path of a bodhisattva. Subhuti. What is the enlightenment path of a bodhisattva, coursing in which he should mature beings and purify the Buddha field? The Lord. Here the bodhisattva, from the first thought of enlightenment onwards, courses in the 6 perfections, 2. In the 18 special Buddha dharmas, and both matures beings and
purifies the Buddha field.
Subhuti. And how does he mature beings when he courses in the perfection of giving? The Lord. Here the bodhisattva gives gifts to beings, and thereupon instructs and admonishes them as follows. Here, son of good family, do not acquisitively grasp at the gift. May you not, seized by acquisitiveness with regard to the gift, reproduce your personality in such a way that in due course you will experience many ills. For here,